Welcome to our deep dive into the life and times of Alexander Graham Bell,
Yeah.
a man who
Oh,
I
yeah,
think needs no introduction,
needs no introduction.
but whose story might surprise you.
Definitely.
We've got a fascinating collection of sources here.
Yes, we do.
It's kind of like a visual journey through his world,
Right.
from his early family life in Scotland all the way to his lasting legacy on technology and communication.
Absolutely. And I think it's interesting. You might know him for the telephone, but Bell's impact goes far beyond that one iconic invention.
Right, and get this, both his mother and his wife were deaf.
Oh, wow.
It makes you wonder how that personal connection might have fueled his drive to innovate.
It's a powerful example of how personal experiences can shape scientific inquiry. Bell's family was deeply involved in speech and elocution.
Oh, wow.
His father even developed a system called visible speech to help deaf people learn to speak.
That's incredible. So he was practically immersed in the world of communication from childhood. I'm already starting to see how those early influences might have set the stage for his later work.
Absolutely. But even more interesting is how Bell's idea for the telephone emerged while working on a completely different invention, the harmonic telegraph.
Okay, hold on the harmonic telegraph. You're going to have to break that one down for me.
Imagine trying to send multiple text messages over a single phone line. That's essentially what the harmonic telegraph aimed to do with telegraphic messages.
Okay.
Bell was fascinated by the idea of transmitting multiple signals over a single wire.
So while he was trying to send multiple messages at once, he stumbled upon the idea of transmitting the human voice. Talk about a happy accident.
Exactly, and that aha moment in 1876 changed the world forever. Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you became the first sentence ever spoken over a telephone.
It's amazing to think how that one invention, born from a desire to improve existing technology, completely revolutionized how we connect with each other. I mean, can you imagine a world without instant voice communication?
Hard to fathom now, isn't it? But Bell's curiosity didn't stop with the telephone.
Right.
He was a true innovator, constantly exploring, experimenting, and pushing boundaries.
I'm seeing a pattern here. First, the harmonic telegraph leads to the telephone. And then, wait, wasn't there something about him using light to transmit voices?
You're thinking of the photophone.
Yay.
This was way before its time, a device that used light to carry sound waves. It was essentially a wireless telephone that predated radio.
Now that's what I call thinking outside the box. So light transmitting voices. Does this connect to anything we use today? It seems unbelievably futuristic for that era.
It's actually the foundation of something we rely on every day. Fiber optics.
Okay.
Those cables that bring high-speed internet to our homes. They use pulses of light to transmit data, a principle rooted in Bell's photophone experiments.
Wow, so Bell inadvertently helped shape the internet age. It really shows how seemingly unrelated ideas can connect in unexpected ways, leading to groundbreaking innovations.
And his drive to innovate went beyond communication technologies. We've got some sources here about Bell's interest in flight and his experiments with kites and propellers.
Wait a minute, the telephone, light-powered voice transmission, and now aviation? He was a true Renaissance man. Did this fascination with flight tie into any of his other work?
I think it speaks to his overarching desire to overcome limitations and connect people across distances. Think about it, the telephone eliminates distance in communication, and flight tackles physical distance.
You're right. It's like he was driven by this urge to bridge gaps, whether those gaps were physical or communicative.
Exactly, and his passion for bridging gaps extended beyond just technology. We also have some fascinating insights into Bell's personal life, especially his relationship with his wife, Mabel.
Right. Did she play a significant role in his work with the deaf community?
Absolutely. Bell established a laboratory dedicated to research and innovation, and Mabel, being deaf herself, likely inspired much of his work focused on improving the lives of deaf and hard-of-hearing individuals.
So it sounds like his personal life and his scientific endeavors were deeply intertwined. But I'm curious to know more about Mabel and the work they did together.
Let's delve into that in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
It's a truly inspiring story of love, innovation, and advocacy.
This is already blowing my mind. I can't wait to learn more about this remarkable couple and their work. All right, we're back and ready to dive deeper into Alexander Graham Bell's world.
Yeah.
Before we get to Mabel, I'm still reeling from that connection between flight and the telephone, both bridging distances in their own way.
It's a fascinating parallel, isn't it? And it speaks to Bell's vision. But before we go any further, I think it's important to understand just how profoundly the telephone itself impacted the world.
You're right, we kind of glossed over that. I mean, we use phones every day, but I hadn't really considered the scale of its impact back then.
Imagine a world where the fastest way to communicate across distances was by letter or telegraph. Suddenly, the telephone makes instant conversations possible regardless of location.
Right.
Businesses could operate more efficiently. Families could stay connected across continents.
Yeah.
And even warfare was transformed by real-time communication.
It's like the telephone was this catalyst for globalization,
Yeah.
shrinking the world in a way that had never been possible before. And to think it all stemmed from Bell's desire to improve communication for those with hearing impairments.
It's a testament to how innovation often arises from addressing very specific needs. And remember, the photophone,
Yeah.
while not commercially successful, it foreshadowed the future of communication technology in a way few could have imagined at the time.
That's right. Those experiments with light-transmitting voices laid the groundwork for fiber optics, which forms the backbone of our modern internet. It makes you wonder what other seemingly failed inventions might hold the seeds of future breakthroughs.
It's a great point. But let's circle back to Bell's work with the deaf community, because that's where his personal life and scientific passions truly intersected.
Right. We were about to delve into his relationship with Mabel and the impact she had on his work.
Mabel Hubbard was more than just Bell's wife. She was his intellectual partner and a powerful advocate in her own right.
Wow.
Deaf since childhood, due to scarlet fever, she met Bell when he became her speech tutor.
Wow, so their relationship literally began with communication. That's a pretty incredible foundation.
It is, and their shared experience with deafness profoundly shaped Bell's work. He wasn't just inventing for the sake of invention.
Right.
He was driven by a deep empathy for the challenges faced by the deaf community.
It's one thing to invent a device,
Yeah.
but it's quite another to understand the human need it addresses on such a personal level. Did they work together directly on any specific inventions or projects?
Absolutely. They collaborated on developing hearing aids, and Mabel was instrumental in the establishment of the Volta Laboratory, which was dedicated to research and innovation in various fields, including technologies to assist the deaf.
So this wasn't just a lab churning out inventions. It was a space where scientific advancement was interwoven with a deep sense of social purpose. What a powerful legacy.
It is, and their dedication to improving the lives of deaf individuals extended beyond technology.
Right.
Bell and Mabel were staunch advocates for the inclusion of deaf people in education and society.
It's inspiring to see how they use their platform to champion such important causes, but I'm also curious about their life outside the lab. We saw hints of Bell's love for nature and the outdoors. Was that something they shared?
Absolutely. They both had a deep appreciation for nature and simple pleasures. Remember those slides about Bell flying kites?
Yeah.
Well, he and Abel spent countless hours together enjoying outdoor activities like boating and exploring the natural world.
It's heartwarming to imagine this brilliant inventor who revolutionized communication, finding joy in such simple things. It makes him seem much more human and relatable.
It does. And their love for nature also extended to a concern for the environment. Bell was a strong supporter of the National Geographic Society, reflecting his broader interest in the world around him.
It seems like Bell wasn't just interested in connecting people through technology, but also in connecting with the natural world and understanding its complexity. It's like his curiosity knew no bounds.
You're exactly right, and that insatiable curiosity led him to explore fields beyond telephony and even beyond science itself.
Really, what else did he delve into? I'm starting to think this deep dive could go on forever.
Well, one area you might find particularly interesting is his work on...
Okay, so we've explored Bell's groundbreaking inventions, his deep connection to the deaf community, and even his love for nature.
Yeah.
Where else did his curiosity lead him?
Well, this might surprise you. He was deeply interested in eugenics.
Eugenics? Wow, that's a bit of a turn. I know it was a popular, though controversial movement in the early 20th century. But how did Bell get involved?
Like many intellectuals of his time, he was concerned about inherited deafness and believed selective breeding could reduce its prevalence. He even served as chairman of a committee on eugenics for the National Academy of Sciences.
That's fascinating and honestly a bit unsettling knowing what we know now about eugenics and its deeply flawed premises. It's a reminder that even brilliant minds can be influenced by the prevailing ideas of their time. And those ideas aren't always right.
Exactly. It's important to look at historical figures with a critical lens, acknowledging both their accomplishments and their flaws.
Yeah.
But despite this controversial chapter, Bell's legacy as an innovator and advocate remains powerful.
Absolutely. From the telephone to the photophone, from his work with the deaf community to his passion for aviation, Bell's impact is undeniable. It makes you wonder how different our world might be if he hadn't pursued those diverse interests.
It's a question worth pondering. Would someone else have invented the telephone eventually? Perhaps. But would they have also pioneered a light-based communication system that foreshadowed fiber optics? Would they have used their platform to advocate for the deaf community with such dedication? It's impossible to know for sure.
What's clear is that Bell's unique blend of scientific curiosity, empathy, and a drive to solve problems left an indelible mark on our world. His story reminds us that innovation often springs from unexpected places, and that personal passions can fuel incredible advancements.
And it underscores the importance of supporting diverse areas of research and encouraging collaboration between different fields. Who knows what groundbreaking discoveries await us when we connect seemingly disparate ideas and challenge the boundaries of what's possible.
That's a great takeaway. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. Bell's story doesn't end with his death in 1922. His inventions and ideas continue to shape our world in countless ways, and his legacy inspires new generations of innovators.
So I encourage you to keep exploring. Delve deeper into Bell's other inventions, the impact of his work on modern technology, and the lives of those he inspired. You might be surprised by what you discover.
Who knows? Maybe you'll be inspired to pursue your own groundbreaking idea fueled by your own unique passions and a desire to make a difference. Until next time, keep those minds curious.